How about now? There we go. Thanks, Bert. And good morning. This is the Aula L99. And this is essentially a 75% keyboard, but with a giant freaking screen on it. Now, I've had a couple of keyboards that have giant screen. Well, I've had one keyboard that's got a giant screen, and I might break it out a little bit later, kind of show off, but we'll see. We'll see what we've got, and then maybe rebuild it. But mainly look at that screen and see what it can do, because there's been a lot of keyboards recently that have had big screens, and I cannot lie. Most notably the $400 Corsair Streamlabs collaboration. So this was $99 at Micro Center, but as you'll see when we look at the website, it actually says that it's supposed to be $199 normally and then $139 on sale at the Aula website, which makes the fact that it was available at Micro Center for $99 all the better. So, opening the box, we have a cover that includes a space where the screen goes. Oh, okay, I see. A manual. This is a try mode, and hopefully we won't need it to operate the screen, but we'll find out. It's not a TFT panel, it's a TNT panel. Not sure if that is actually a misprint. Keyboard itself, which we'll set aside for the moment. A gray rubberized generic cable. A couple of spare switches. Keycap switch puller. We'll leave all that in here. Along with the manual and the quick operation card, so we know where they are. Oh. And the plastic wrap. I did not realize this was going to be white. I guess I should have. Because if you look at the box, that kind of looks gray, but I assume that's just shading. Anyway. And here we have the screen and the keyboard. Interesting. Okay, so this includes a silicone flap to protect the gear in the back. Which is interesting. Because it's not like you're going to be doing anything rough with it if it's got a giant touchscreen on it. Operates as a mouse. Now, as opposed to a lot of screens that I've had on the channel, since this one is so big, it easily comes up onto the camera. This morning's coffee is Café du Monde coffee with chicory, New Orleans blend. And not my favorite coffee with chicory, but it is what I had on hand this morning. So looking at the board, otherwise, we'll disconnect it for now. Let's see, that fits back in there just fine. It's silicone, so should be good. It is a standard-ish wedge, 2-stage flip-out feet. It has, I'm not going to do the peel, but it has an aluminum-ish accent on the bottom. It has what appears to be a speaker built into the keyboard. Or is that just a vent? Weird. We'll experiment with that a little bit. And then double shot PBT keycaps. They seem all right. Let's see, which switches did we get? Let's go ahead and bring up the information on the keyboard itself. As I said, this shows as $199 with a current sale price of $139, but was available at the at Micro Center locally here in the Denver area for only $99. And going through what we've got here, like I said, 75% with a 4-inch IPS touchscreen. A gasket structure, which based on what I'm seeing here is, we're going to have to take their word for it. What's up, Kulara? How are you doing? Do you have your coffee? I know I do. An 8,000 milliamp hour battery. And it just says all day. Yeah. Running an IPS screen. I don't believe it. Yeah, right? I'm telling you. And it was only $99 at Micro Center. as opposed to the $400 for that Corsair one. That's the Stream Deck. Hot swappable switches, which we may or may not decide that we want to change out the switches. We'll find out. I do have some Cthulhu switches right here from HMX if we want to change out switches. I also have MTNU Space Cadet that we could put on here. I was expecting this to be a gray keyboard, and I kind of banked on that. So my keycap choices were gray and black. But this is kind of a stark white. So what's up, End of Greatness? Good morning. Let's see. Features. Screen, yes. Package includes. Design. Do they just not include the specifications for it? They don't. They also don't tell me what the rainy switches are versus the... Oh. So these are going to be the rainy switches, because otherwise the other option is the caramel latte, which are brown. So yeah, rainy switches, which hopefully are nice. And we will do... What's up, Klex? Morning. Again, this morning's coffee. Cafe du Monde, coffee with chicory. We'll pause the music for a minute and we will do a quick starting sound test. But I really do want to get into looking at the screen a little bit more. So this is the rainy switches with their stock dual shot or double shot PBT keycaps on the Aula L99. So it's right. It's all right. I would say that if you wanted to, you could probably run this straight out of the box. The spacebar stab has some ticking. The backspace has some ticking, so not super great there. Oh, you want clicky. Hold on. Hold the phone. Ooh. Yes. Here we go. Right? Anyway, fun. So this is my current configuration for the Smurf. And this is how it would normally sound. Yeah, Freya was saying that she wishes that when it got to the end of the line, I made a ding sound, which would be hilarious. Or whenever you hit return. But yeah. These are Cat Mizu. Moonlight, I think. I always get confused if it's Moonlight or Full Moon. But I think it's Moonlight. I think Full Moon are the baby blue. I have both, so I often get confused. Confuzzled, even. Let's see, which one's Moonlight? Yes, Moonlight. I picked right. All right. Yes, for those of you who have not seen the keyboard hub, go check it out for me. I'm looking for any feedback on what you like. What you don't like, what you would like to see as part of a community website for being able to inventory all of your keycaps, switches. It does scratch the itch for the Curve 65 that got canceled. It does not completely scratch the itch of me wanting a class keyboard. But I can't afford a class keyboard, so we will have to live in our disappointment. And it's very sad because right now, class 100 extras are up. But I just don't have $450 to spend on a keyboard right now. What I did have is $100 to spend to show you all the L99. So let's go ahead and see what this bad boy can do. Is it going to disappoint me? So far, most screen keyboards, including the Not for Sam, have disappointed me. So far, it's better than the Not for Sam, if for no other reason than I can actually, it's a touchscreen and I can do things with it more than just add a graphic. Yeah, I mean, one of the local keyboard people has a class, so I've been able to actually try it out. But I would love a class 100 because while it's not an FRL 1800, it is pretty nice. So we are going to add a new window. I've already downloaded the software. Why are you not showing me? Let's try that again. Interesting. Let's try it a different way. Can I get with game capture? No, that could work. It's not coming up as a window for me to select, which is odd. There it is. Okay. I just need to delete it and come back to it. So this is the software. For those of you in the budget space, this looks pretty familiar. This is obviously just a rebranding of some other stuff with the IPS toggled on or tacked onto it. So let's go ahead and time sync, which I think it's already done. We're going to import a let's see how this works. This is a graphic that was created for the QK100. Okay, so it should be sending it. Is that showing that to you? It's not. On my side, it says, do not interrupt the data being downloaded. Do not touch the screen during the download process. Please download again after failure. So they're assuming that I'm going to be failing. Yes, and I did use GPT to create most of the code for this website. But on top of just inventory, while we're waiting for this, the website will also allow you to share builds with the community so that they can see what you're building and then even give a 1 to 5 star rating on how they like it. You can also then add your keyboards, switches, keycaps, and stabilizers to the master database of keyboards for the community so that when people are looking for a keyboard, it will show that to them. Currently, we do have an interest check section added. I don't know if it's going to stay. Apparently, different people have been working on a replacement for Geekhack already. But I want to make it part of the keyboard hub because I'm trying to make it a complete community resource. To that end, you can also go there and see a list of discords, whether they are content creator discords, vendor discords, community discords, and if it's a vendor, then it ties back to our recommended and use caution. Let's see. It looks like it's done, which means we should be able to add customize the animation, and bibbity bobbity boo. There we go. So you can now see the animation is on here. This is again designed for the QK100, so it doesn't fill up the whole screen. If I click that, it goes off. Now you can add a numpad. So for those of us who enjoy having a numpad for work, seems fine. It's a little small and it's a touchpad, so we've got our real-time data. Not exactly sure what the 89% moisture rating is, but sure, why not? We're not going to go to photo frame. I don't know what that would pull. I don't want you seeing all the weird stuff on my computer. It's got a built-in calculator. That's a big number. Screen customizations. So you can change the background. You can alter the color. You of course get all your information along the top. Time, date, what kind of connection you're currently using, whether or not numlock, caps lock are on, The fact that numlock is on, weird, but okay. What it doesn't have, hey, it's got a key debounce. So, yes, as far as I know, EpoMaker doesn't have a keyboard, although Aula is kind of a sub company within EpoMaker sometimes. It's a little weird. Sound and haptics. Touch sound. Oh, hey, it does have a, that is a little speaker in the bottom. Now, here's all your, you can set your pairing here in the little touch screen. System, set to Windows, DPI, set to high. That doesn't help anyone at all. Time, date, alarm. So what this is missing, and what the Not for Sam was missing, is any way to put custom applications in here. We can set macros, but their software syncs time, uploads GIFs or photos. That's it. So let's see. My exclusive config. So you have top layer and a function layer. From what I can see, we are not locked into anything. So since I'm on the function layer, I should be able to do this. I don't need to do this because we have a full set of keys around the screen. But that being said, sometimes I just want to go here for my stuff. Unlike a lot of software, it does not seem to be, it doesn't seem to be restricting me from saving anything or from replacing anything, which means I should be able to even go here, put function there, come here and put alt here. I don't know what K151 and 150 are. That's interesting. I don't know what those are for. If anybody knows, go ahead and drop it in the chat. So is this dynamic? Can I do this now? No. do I save it? Okay, so it will not let me actually play. Oh, because I'm on the function layer. That would need to be where it was anyway. Okay, so now I should be able to do this. Yeah. This already puts it kind of ahead of a lot of other keyboards that have stock or rather in-house software. Oh, hey, I've been doing this whole time, and y'all should have said something, because I could have been showing y'all the screen. But I mean, it's really just, you know, like I said, it's kind of a stock setup. But with only two layers, the top layer and the function layer that you can edit, it doesn't seem to restrict me from editing any keys, which normally I've been running into that issue. We don't necessarily need to set these because we have all the keys over here, including scroll and pause, which are useless. But since they give us delete, home, page up, page down, and end, which I've already replaced with function, yeah. So we'll actually go into the top layer, replace this with end, replace this with home, replace home with what? Not calculator, because we have a calculator built into our touchpad. Don't use my computer enough. Can we make it something? Oh, let's make it a web page back button. All right. Which means we can put our BS key there. Yep. Speaking of which, let's go ahead and we're going to take a look. And here's what I was talking about as far as the silicone. It just kind of drops in there, which covers that up. We can close these. Like it says receiver, which is good. It keeps that, like, even though it has the dongle and that dongle is secure in here, secure enough that I don't know that I can get it out because it's way in there. Well, that is and then so it's magnetically in there. It has a silicone thing, and because it has a silicone thing, it has to set recessed even further than usual. And I got it. It didn't even want to come out. The magnet was keeping it in there too much. So that's fun. But so now we could just drop it and it just magnetically goes back. So that's a little annoying if you have no nails, like me. If you're a nail biter. So I am getting a little bit of spring crunch on these stock switches. Most people are probably not going to notice that. But let's see. Ooh, I know. Since we're going to be slightly off color today, we could also go with, if I wanted to change out the keycaps, I could go with Cat Space Dust. First thing I'm going to try in here just real quick is are the chews, because the chews will show off the RGB a little bit better. Let's take a look at the switch. It has a light spreader, it's a box spring. The caramel latte switches that they also offer with this, they are not a box spring. Come in. Let's see, is there a maker on here, or is it just going to say Aula? It's just going to say Aula branded. I'm guessing it's in a Timu. Oh, a Timu. Which is funny because this is like rainy, and I get what they're going for, but this marbly sound I think is a lot better. Now if we go ahead and let's go ahead and try the Cthulhu switches in here, which will bring down the depth of the sound a little bit. These are both HMX switches. These are the Cthulhu switches. The Cthulhu switches were sent to me courtesy of Unikeys. All right. That's much better. Now, granted, when we go to plug in our... Alright. I can see this being handy and yet annoying to have that silicone in the back. Because it's either going to flap out or you're going to have it in, you're going to have to peel it out each time. So, if you look at the F, G, H, and J key, you can see it is significantly dimmer than the surrounding keys, which do not, since it does not have the light spreader, and the color is slightly off. And that is going to be because of the purple of the switches. That being said, I think it is a better color, or a better sound and feel overall. Let's try. Let's go with Space Cadet. That was my first thought. Or we also have Starry Poems, which I do not believe, which I believe is in here. This is kind of a fun set. It is a cherry set. It is die sub PBT. So this is the original run of this keycap set. Later on, there was a stripped down version that was offered through Drop, which was offered actually in blue and black. And I got the black version of that from there. Ooh, actually. The fact that it's white, I actually have the perfect keycap set to do here. Well, yeah, I do. Okay. Because all right. I will be right back. Okay. So, my thought is Green Hungle. This is Canon Keys. Canon. I think it would look good on here. Maybe. We'll have to see how its beige goes with the white of the keys. I think we're doing pretty good. Very different from the stark white that's on there. Oh yeah, that's nice. It's like McDonald's because I'm loving it. We will put that on the side for the moment. Very good. I believe I have a plastic bag I can put these in for now. I recently traded for this set, the green set. One of the other local keyboard people who's a big fan of green. Recently, another person in the community had picked up an entire pallet of GMK keycaps that were from the liquidation of what was that website that they were yes, the Kono. They picked up an entire pallet of, what is it called? Hanami Dango keycaps. And they were selling them for crazy good price to people in the community. And that's a green and red set. And like I said, this local person is a huge fan of the color green, and but they missed out on it, and so I traded him a GMK set for Canon Keys, green fungal, and $15. Because he was looking to get rid of this set anyway. And I don't have too many green sets, so. Okay. Grab another bag. Yeah, like crazy. And the fact that he managed to sell them all. I mean, it was green. He kinda needed it. So let's look, and first of all, what in the hell is that? There's something in there. There is. Oh, hey, look at that. How gross. I think somebody's lunch made it all the way from China. I don't know what you are, but you are going in my trash. Okay. Yeah. I think I think what it might have been is you had a lot of it was a crazy time for businesses post COVID, and I think that's probably what it was. Because there was a certain bubble that happened after COVID where businesses had gotten some extra money, and people were ready to get back to work. They were ready to get back to spending, and then all of a sudden, people realized that they don't have that much money, and so all of a sudden, businesses and consumers just stop buying as much. And so all of the companies that had been so flushed with cash suddenly weren't anymore again. And that's why you've had all of the layoffs and you know, essentially these businesses going under, people getting in over their heads, which is what I think happened to Kono, because they probably bought these thinking that they would be able to turn them around eventually and make a killing. And unfortunately, the only thing that got killed was them. So, oh hey, I forgot to remove the rest of the arrow keys. So yeah, I think that is... I think that's what happened with a lot of companies, and that's why you kind of have that rash of exit scammers and things like that, because people just weren't ready for essentially the dot-com bubble bursting. I mean, it was that whole thing again. For those of you who remember the dot-com bubble, which was a thing that happened back when you were kids. Today's coffee is Café du Monde, coffee with chicory. It's not my favorite coffee with chicory, but it is coffee with chicory, which makes it at least as good as a lot of other coffees that I would drink. For those of you who don't know, I grew up in New Orleans, and drinking coffee with chicory is a very New Orleans thing. Hence the reason why it's Café du Monde branded. Growing up, I I drank community coffee, which I normally do when I have my coffee with chicory, is get community coffee with chicory New Orleans blend. However, a friend saw the Cafe du Monde and picked it up for me because he knows I like coffee with chicory. Did not realize that I am a snob when it comes to my coffee with chicory generally. And so I had a whole can of coffee with chicory. And when I ran out of my community, I'm like, oh, I'll just use this. And I'm like, oh yeah, I remember why. It's not that great. It's not bad. It's just not that great. I generally have been using some flavored creamers recently, which is something that I hadn't been really doing ever. But Freya bought some, like they were on sale or something. And I'm like, oh yeah. And it really kind of improves the taste of this because it adds, obviously, like butter pecan or vanilla. But this morning, we're just raw dogging it. Just creamer, which I also have my coffee with creamer and sugar. Fake sugar at this stage because I am a type 2 diabetic. Although, since being on Moonjaro and Jardiance, it is much less of a concern for me because Jardiance will just flush the extra sugar out of my system. Yeah, but I mean, I think, I mean, yeah, that makes sense, but maybe they got a good deal on it. Oh. Oh. So it was a well-received set. They just over estimated how many they would need. Because again, I really think that it has to do with, you know, the same thing as what happened with the dot-com bubble. Is that in the case of the post-COVID, you had people flush with cash from government subsidies and things like that, where they were trying to keep businesses afloat. But businesses took in extra money, and then they had the extra money, and they thought that they would be able to utilize that. As opposed to the dot-com bubble, where it was venture capitalists that were flushing anybody and everybody with a silly... See, I was about to say a stupid website idea, except for I'm making a stupid website. So, although, you know, mine is essentially basically free-ish, because I'm utilizing my own hardware, and I'm building it all from scratch. I mean, it's not really free because I'm building it with using Codex and ChatGPT, which I pay for, but I pay for it anyway. So I'm utilizing tools that I already am paying for, essentially. Yes. So you had, in the case of the keyboard community, we also had to deal with a lot of transportation delays because of COVID. Which again, it caused people to right, Mexico and a ton of others where they just exit scammed, or you know, Iris Labs where they exit scammed but did it for a different reason, which that part wasn't all under their control, but at the same time they still left all their customers hanging, so that sucks. Although we haven't had any exit scamming. We've had a lot of people getting out of the business and doing it legit. Not a lot, but more recently, as far as I could tell. Now, I have only been in the hobby since about 2019, and then for at least the first few years, all my stuff was like Kale and Red Dragon and stuff like that. So until I got my Mons Geek M2, which was my first real aluminum keyboard, which I still have that keyboard. It's downstairs and has MT3 Cyber on it. And recently I thought of it taking MT3 Cyber off and putting that on the Smurf, because I think that might look cool, but I haven't yet. Okay, so here we go with a bunch of Cthulhian horror. You gotta enunciate that, otherwise it becomes a completely different sentence. Cthulhian horror switches, or just Cthulhu switches. Again, available at Unikeys, and I do recommend these switches. They're nice. These were sent out to me. And you can look at my beacons, or you can even look on the hub, bringing it back to the hub, because I love the hub. By the way, I've been working on it, and I'm very excited. Do we have... Oh wow, my row 2 on this looks a lot like the... Alright, yes, and yes, okay. So we can take you off because I would not want to do that. And then we would use you instead. Put you on the side. What do y'all think about the beige with the white? I mean, obviously the darker beige is going to be not the same, but of course it also means that I could have gone with Spellbook. And kept with the purple. Skip you. Come on. Hey, I am doing all right. Look what I'm using. By the way, Cheeky Bean is the person who traded me this set. We were talking about this we've been talking about the GMK set that and Kono and all that stuff. So yeah, I'm glad you showed up, cause yeah. Do you know if this set has a 1U backspace? The Deku and the Yeeti? I do. I would love to get some Yeeti. What I really want is Alfheim. Alright, what do I got? What do I need? I do not need you. I do need you. I do not need you. You are, yay! And I wonder why there's 3 of these. Oh, different heights. Got it. Got it. Oh, my function. There. Small shift. Not that small. More of those. Wow, there are a lot of those. These are the Cthulhu switches, the HMX Cthulhus. Yeah, especially on, this is a foamed up board. It's a pry apart board, so we probably won't be taking it apart to remove any foams. Not that I'm that fond of doing that regardless, but oh, it goes here. You go there. You go there. You are the correct switch for that, which you are, yay. And then I just gotta go back and grab we should hopefully yes, there you are. I didn't see you because you were turned to the side. And you go here, you go here, you go here. And there we go. And so we can pull up this silicone flap. Oh, no, first we're going to take a drink of our Café du Monde coffee with chicory. Okay. Then we're going to plug in our keyboard. Show off that big old screen here. It's a 4-inch IPS screen. Put on a little show there. It does not. It will be your numpad, or it'll be your calculator, or it'll be your mouse. Yeah. It'll also I'm not going to do photo frame because I don't know what it's going to pull from, so I'm not going to do that. You can do your music player. And then, what else? There was one other thing on here. Oh yeah, the real-time data. So you've got your time, date, your CPU usage. I don't know if it's actually pulling the CPU usage because it's just saying 6% and has said 6% every time we've gone there. I guess I should do something and see. Let's go back to there and we'll leave that there while we... So the color from the RGB, obviously severely dimmed now that we have the Cthulhu switches in there because it's a black bottom housing, purple top with no light spreader. So it is going to severely inhibit your ability. No, this is an Aula L99. So there are no current EpoMaker keyboards that have a giant screen on it. I picked this up yesterday at Micro Center for $99, which is better than what the Aula website says it goes for. The Aula website says that it's regularly $199, not $99, and it's currently on sale through that website for $139. Or you could just go to Micro Center and get it for about 99 bucks. And for $99, if you like the 75%, especially if you wanted a 75%, that actually gives you all of your keys and a screen. My only disappointment with the screen is that it is not configurable. So with other applications, what I would really like to see, and one of the things that would make this a big value add for me, would be if I could put something like Discord or Teams in here. Because if I can have my Discord or Teams, right? Exactly. Why has no one done that yet? It seems like it's a no-brainer. Because it would do all of this stuff except for the real-time data, which, again, doesn't seem to be doing it anyway. Yes, a $1,000 phone keyboard. I don't know. I mean, that would just price it out for me, but you guys could love it. But let's do a sound test with the Cthulhu switches. So this is the Cthulhu switches with nice PBT green Hangul on it, which is a die sub keycap set, and on the Aula Wind L99. Okay. Right? I think if you're looking for a foamed up keyboard, the stock switches weren't terrible. They're not that great. they're the rainy switches. I imagine that the caramel latte are actually probably a creamier switch than the rainy switch, which they were kind of going for a poppy sound on the rainy switches. And it's poppy. It's just, it also has some spring ping to it. And if you're just getting it and you're not really into the hobby, then it would probably be fine. But that also is combined with these double shot PBT keycaps, as opposed to going full die sub, which is going to bring your sound signature down a little bit, plus kind of mellow out the sound a little, which is really what a good thick die sub PBT does. I mean, you know, but it did not seem to make any difference at all to the CPU and GPU usage. So let's see if we open something up. Let's see if it makes any difference at all. Yeah, it's not pulling anything. The real-time data, not so real-time, not so data. Let's see if we can fix that. Well, apparently Rust crashes Streamlabs. So, yeah, won't be doing that again. Actually, I will at some point, but yeah. In this case, it has served its purpose. Let's take a look here. Let's see if we can get that data to work. So I was able to do a time sync, and that seemed to want to do something. How about settings? Connection? Nope, that's just the connection. System? Nope, that's just Windows Mac. Need an alarm. Manually set your time date. Has a high debounce set for some reason by default. The DPI is, of course, set for high by default. Nope, nothing in there. It's a good point. I'll look. Yeah, my CPU usage is at 35%. And I don't think it really drops below 35% when I'm streaming anyway, because it's got to run Streamlabs. My memory usage, well, this doesn't show memory usage, but let's see. Let's look at the manual. There were some things in here. Instructions for using wired mode. I think I understand how to use a keyboard. See, this is telling me that all it should need is this driver. Let's do glittering green. Let's count all my changes that I've made still. It also says that I should have a mini notepad that it's supposed to display. I don't see that on here. So something tells me that they did not plan this right. Well, how disappointing. All right, so we do not have that working well. But, let's see, do I have anything green animated GIF? Oh, of course. What am I doing? right. Let's go ahead and save that to give while I take a drink. So, like I was saying earlier, we'll go back to the keyboard hub because, again, it is the thing that has fixated in my mind. I've recently added more around the vendors and the Discord and the interplay between the two, so that you can see go directly from a vendor in the list and see if I have documented their Discord, and vice versa. If you go to the Discord list and you see a Discord for a vendor, and it lists whether or not it's a vendor, a content creator, a community, or other. And then I will be adding later, probably later today, a list of content creators that I'm going to try to get their websites, things like Alex's website and his streams. But then I'm also going to have it tell you if they're online, which will be interesting, I think. So that is now in. So now we should be able to see our Cthulian horror moving its little face tentacles. Right there. Oh, right there. See? Let's even take a look at it real quick. Now mine will have obviously administrative stuff in here, but you can initially, when you initially log in, you can continue with Google and log in with your Google account, but you don't need to for a lot of things. So if you wanted to just browse keyboards, I'm not exactly sure why those are broken, but we'll have to look into that. But you can come in here and it kind of gives you a little blurb about it. Like, the discipline was created as an accessible 65% DIY project whose USB-C electronics can be assembled entirely throughout from through-hole components. I don't know what that means. Making normally hidden circuitry part of the build experience and visual design. Oh, I see. It's talking about, and when you go in, it'll give you a quick thing. It's talking about this. Yeah, exactly. I'm glad it's just not putting random nonsense, because, you know, again, this stuff is, a lot of it is AI generated. We have the Smurf listed here now. It will tell you that it is sold out on novel keys. This is actually an error. I'll have to have it look into that, because they put up extras of the Smurf, so it's not dynamically updating. And this is, a lot of this is admin stuff for me. But it does give you related recommendations. I'm not exactly sure why it's recommending the Agar as a alternative to the TKL Smurf. I'll need to look into that. Oh, because it shares gasket mount, aluminum plate via. We'll have to restrict that a little bit. So, because like, you know, the banana and the Smurf, just because they are both hot swap does not make them related. So this is a new feature that I recently added as well, is that if you're looking at, like, I'm gonna have to give it a hierarchy of needs. I think it's a project board. I don't think it's in group by anymore. We can go over to the banana here, and then it shows you the official site. And now we're on the official site for the banana. We still haven't even logged into the keyboard hub yet. And you can see that this is a group by extras. So you can buy it for $225 right now. And that is the pre-assembled version, which is the only one that's still available. Yes, not open source. But it's a banana. Does it, if it's pre-built, does it come with... Oh no, the banana keyboard is open source. So we've now drilled all the way to GitHub. So you too can get your own banana kit. So open source. There you go. And then we can go all the way back here. Now we can change our theme, because, you know, it defaulted to botanical, and, you know, I kind of like, actually what I really like is, my favorite I think is not laser, neon. I like neon. It's kind of got a blue background with the green. Or Blue Sam. I've been doing a lot of Blue Sam theme. So all of our themes are, of course, named after different GMK sets. Fuji. Some Pink Darling. Some are darker, some are lighter. We, of course, have Wob and Bow. If you just don't want color at all, Panels decided to go blue mostly, with some purple and some green accents in different places, which makes sense, but still. I would have thought that it would have gone with a stronger color set. What do I want? Oh, I want neon. Or do I want Kaiju? Anyway, we'll go with Kaiju. Okay. So from here, you can go back to login. And now we can continue with Google. Hopefully you didn't see that. And now we've got our MFA. Make sure you can't see my MFA. Now that I'm logged in, it has switched to my last selected theme, which was Blue Samurai. And now we have access to everything else, including our Discord groups. So I haven't fully finished populating the Discord groups that I have. You'll see that it does show that this is a Epo maker, and then you can open Vendor. You can join the Discord. I can do other things. It'll show the meetups. Here's our Colorado Mech Meets for August, which is going to happen on the 29th at localhost. You can get your map link. Take you straight there. Look at that, localhost. Yeah, so you can do a lot with this already, and I don't have any in my use caution except for the smoke test, which I'm using for testing, which I can archive. You can't archive it. I can archive it. Then we can go into our personal inventory. Since I've made a bunch of changes, it has now reset my helpful hints. You can come in here, you can sort by recently added, you can go A to Z, Z to A. You can remove different types. So if I want to look for the Smurf, which I do not have here, so I can go over to the database and look for the Smurf and go, I now own. Hey, look, it now shows that it's in stock. So that's interesting. And then I can scroll to the bottom. I can add to personal inventory. And then I have the polycarbonate. Actually, this is going to change because this should all be objective tags. So you should just be checking things off. I own graphite. And then save to personal inventory. Now we can go back over here. And you'll see that now it is listed here. And I can go, all right, I have Big Lucky. So now I have a Big Lucky switch. I can drag my Big Lucky switch onto my Smurf. Now it lists that it has Big Lucky switches in it. It has stock stabilizers. So now it has stock stabilizers in it. Do I have cat in here? Oh, I might. I do not have cat Mizu in here yet. So we'll need to add that. So we're going to add new, keycap set, product name, cat Mizu, creative, check database. It sees that Space Dust is an option, but that is not the right one. None of these keycaps is the right set. Add my own information. Cat Mizu keycaps. They are double shot PBT. They are cat profile. They are made by Creative. I own the base kit. And images. We're going to have it look for images and see if it can find the images. It is already looking for candidate photos. We'll take a drink. Hey, look, it has found Cat Mizu. So now we can add Cat Mizu. Yes, we do want to attach it. So now we have an image attached. Now we can save it. Now I can drag it. And now I have Cat Mizu on my Smurf with big lucky linears and stock stabilizers. It is fully manual. This is, the whole thing is supposed to be community driven. I am, for that reason, the only way that this is gonna make me any money is if anybody decides to throw me one or more coffee, or if I have an affiliate link and I have attached them to the vendors, and you use those, then it will give me a kickback. But I don't want to charge. I don't want to make it. I don't want it. I want it to be community driven because I want people to be able to trust everything that's in here. So I'm not going to push anything on people. So I want everything to be fully manual. So now that we have Cat Mizu, I can submit it to the database. There is an error that I need to fix, and I will have it take a look at that. But that's why it's still in beta. But you'll submit it to the database. It will show up in my queue for me to approve to the database once I verified that you're not submitting garbage. Because, you know, I don't want people, random people logging in and then submitting porn as keyboards. Who knows? Whatever. People suck. So I'm trying to populate it with the stuff that I have. It's a slow process. I have a bunch of stuff. There is some changes that will be coming down pretty soon, and that is currently it doesn't prompt for quantity, but it should. Because, for instance, I have 110 big lucky switches, so it should reflect that so that you can actually keep the numbers of your switches in here. I also want it to eventually, it is going to synchronize with, for instance, the Smurf. So it'll know how many keys are on a Smurf, and will show quantity used, quantity available of your switches. You can come in here and edit this, and you will have quantity 2. Because I have both full moon and I have moonlight, so I do actually have 2 different sets of Cat Mizu, because I like Cat Mizu. Oh, I made a mistake because this is asking for the manufacturer. No, that's actually right. So that's not the vendor. I'll need to fix that. But yeah. I mean, I only am just releasing the beta for this product. I have not considered selling it because, again, I want it to be community driven. EpoMaker or any other company I'm more than happy for them to also contribute to my site. As a matter of fact, if I could get people to contribute to my site enough, then I could live comfortably off of this website and just develop this website. Between that and streaming, wouldn't that be awesome? No, I made this. This is not something unless Mech Merlin is saw my website, and that would be awesome. Um, but no, I just made this recently. This project is probably about 2 months old, is when I started working on it. Now, and again, I'm just releasing the beta this week. I've got my little advertisement that I am going to be pushing out to show off. And yeah, I hope that people enjoy it. I know there are some other people who have been working on something similar to this. I know Shark has his that he's been working on. But he has been focusing on all of the various projects that Shark is doing, like his keycap sets and everything. And I think I've just been focusing on this, so I might, at this point, hopefully be a little bit further along than maybe he is. But I definitely like my drag and drop setup a little bit better. So then you can clear these and you can see all of your stuff. You can also add keyboards to looking for. So if there was something that you wanted that you haven't gotten yet, you can grab it from the database and add it to your looking for. And then when you actually are able to purchase it, you can move it from looking for to keyboards. If you are currently using something else, like Notion or an Excel spreadsheet, to import, we can accommodate that, and you can download an Excel template and move your data over to the Excel template. You can export from here to go into your own private Notion site if you wanted. I am working on connecting an API so that you can actually import from Notion directly to here. The not for sale tag, you can actually mark things that you want to sell to people, but it's still in your inventory as not for sale or as for sale, to let you as an individual know that you are planning on selling this, so that you can then search by your not for sale or for sale tags and see what you've posted maybe to Mech Market. There will be no marketplace involved directly with the Keyboard Hub. Again, this is a community space, not a sales space. I do want to help facilitate you being able to find things if you're looking for them. And that's the reason why if you go into an item, if it's a recommended vendor that has something like caramel puddings, you should be able to see, and this has a bunch of stuff in it because I have admin rights. Admins have and moderators will have more rights if you are involved in the project. Currently, I am the only person, so I am in the process of validating this. So, and then it'll show you related things. But there's a lot. There's a lot going on. I want to make it as accessible as possible for everyone, and kind of give you as many tools as possible for however you want to work, and maintain your own setup. I have not added vendors to this one yet, so let's see. Again, mine has got a lot more stuff in it. There we go. Where to find. So this is going to run an AI vendor search, and it will show me, ideally, which of the recommended vendors currently have this. So currently, this particular switch is available at Divinity and Unikeys, and it is in stock at both. So now we should be able to close this. When we go back into it, now you see Unikeys, Divinity. You can click on it. It'll take you straight to the page. Divinity. It'll take you straight to the page. Both of these are affiliates, so both of these will use my affiliate link to help you purchase it. And if it was not in stock in one, it would say out of stock. If it was in stock in, or out of stock in both, it would say out of stock on both of these. Just, you know, it's got another thing that I will be working on is, currently this has this banner right here. I'm going to replace that with a scrolling banner of content creators. When I add the content creators' YouTube sites, it will monitor their YouTube channels for new videos, and will scroll through the recent videos made by any one vendor. So, you know, Clackbait or Alex or whomever. Me. But it will do long form videos only, is what I've decided. It will not do live videos like this one, because I am streaming on YouTube right now. And it'll produce that. I know that Teha and the team, and his team are working on a podcast series, so if possible, I want to have that up here for people to see. That would be cool, I think. Yeah, so this is the Keyboard Hub. It is, again, community driven. It's for the keyboard community, and is all part of my desire to share my enjoyment of the keyboard community and everybody, and trying to create a good space for everybody to really enjoy themselves. This is the first website that I've made in about, let's see, since 1998. It was a very different world back in 1998. It was the Wild West of very bad looking websites with scrolling crawfish and all kinds of craziness. This is just something that, again, I had been thinking about something like this for a while. I knew Shark was working on something but it wasn't my vision. And so yes, so yes, that is, it's too currently, and we'll go back to here. I wanted to have a way for people to import their stuff. But initially, I needed some way for people to have an organized way to get the data in. And so I had created an Excel template that had multiple tabs for switches and keycaps and all that kind of stuff. And that is what the Excel template is. However, that being said, that is kind of my Gen 1 experience for getting data into here. Now there is multiple ways that you can get that data into the hub. You can use the Excel template, which downloads an XLS file to your machine. That honestly, if you just wanted to use the keyboard hub import template, you could actually use that to maintain your own private database, or not a database, but Excel spreadsheet of inventory. But then you could also upload it to import the Excel file into the hub, and it would populate these fields that you could then go through and fill out the rest of the information on, drag and drop your switches, etc. I am working on a few different ways, and this entire section, or these entire sections here, are going to end up having to be collapsible because this is just taking up way too much space. But this is all you can do a JSON import, which has not been tested yet at all. You can import from your Notion. Which uses an API. You can also set up an API for yourself to get the data in. And then adding, as you saw earlier, if we add items, when you're adding something using the add new, you can just add it here and then check the keyboard hub database, and if we have it, if it's already been uploaded, it will allow you to just add it directly from the database. Yes, correct. And that is why when you are adding a new item into the keyboard database, you are going to be able to come in and where's it at? Apparently I made a change that removed it. There's going to be an AI button. Yes, the link is, and it will scroll periodically, but it's HTTPS keyboards.cyberspace-central.net. That is the oh wow, I didn't even know that was a thing. So that's the website for now. I actually plan on making a dedicated keyboard hub direct URL, but I haven't chosen that yet. So, Cheeky Beans, to address that concern, because I agree, I don't want to have to fill in all that stuff. There's going to be an AI button that will then search the recommended vendor sites for the item that you are putting in, and should it find it, it will then fill in all of that data for you. So it's going to pull that stuff from the recommended vendor sites and populate things like actuation and bottom out if it's available, housing materials, and all of that. It'll pull all of that in, so you don't have to do it. You just have to tell it, this is the switch, this is the maker, let's do that. There will be an issue with niche boards. There will be an issue with old school boards, things like ALP switches. You know, yes, like Kevin's stuff is going to be probably not in there for the most part. You know, a lot of it is my imagination and dedication. I am not a coder, which is, I am the poster child for why coding with AI is good, because I have neither the patience to actually do the coding nor the skill to do the coding. So AI is doing it all for me. I am merely reviewing it, and then I'm having some of my actual coder friends review AI's work for mistakes or for holes. I'm having it review itself to make sure that it's not making redundant things or making security holes, etc. I, for one, think that AI is a valuable tool, and I have no problem with using it. I think shoving AI into everything is dumb. So, but as a tool for something like this, I think it's great. Things like gathering the data for the switches, I think that is a great use for AI, because it's making everybody's life a little bit easier, and that's what computers are for. It's for making everybody's lives a little bit easier. So let's see. I wanted to show we're going to cancel this. So I canceled it, so it did not create a new item. Now, if we were going to come in here, we're going to go keyboard, product L99. Let's see if it can find it for us. Aula. Check database. So, basic information, highly likely products. It found an Aula L99. Yes, use this product. So it has now added the Aula L99 gaming keyboard. So now we can come in here. Pull AI data with images. So now it's going to go through and it's going to check the website, or it's the recommended websites, to see if it can find the information for this keyboard. You can actually exit this page and it will give you a pop-up when AI has done looking for it. Yes, there will be the ability for you to create your own API and connect it to GPT, and run. Yes, this it already exists. I have it built out for myself so that I can make changes and update my own data, and that will be available to the community. As a matter of fact, I think it's already built in. I just haven't put in any of the framework around it. So it only found 2 items that it wants me to review. It thinks that it should be a 60%, and that is wrong. So it says that the product page says that it's 65%. And so we're going to tell it no. We're going to reject that suggestion. And this is saying that it thinks it's a 60%. So as of right now, it's not always right, but that is why you have the ability for that. But if that's the case, you can still come in here and say, well, it obviously has a screen. It has no knob. It has no macro column. There is no wait. It is hot swap. It is tri-mode. It does have QMK VIA, but also has proprietary firmware. It is gasket mounted. It has a plastic case. I did include 3D printed cases there for you, Cheeky Beans. It has a polycarbonate plate. It has no internal weight, no external weight. And then save now. So now I have an Aula L99 as part of my collection here. We can view the record in the database, but we don't need to. But what we do want is to choose our Cthulhu switches. Apparently I've not entered the Cthulhu switches, so we could do that as well, but I could add custom CNC. There's always an option for other, because I can't take into account. Although I will add hand wired, because I do want to make sure that that community is represented. Yeah, there's for every section there is an option for other, and then it'll give you the option to put in, like, manually type in what you want. So yeah, I mentioned Teja earlier. I showed this to him and he thought it was a great idea. He is currently using, I think, a Google Docs spreadsheet. Google Sheets. There you go. That's what I'm thinking of. He's currently using a Google Sheets for his, and I think that honestly, one of the places where this kind of thing would really shine would be for content creators. The ability, to know where your switches are. Well, you can export a sheets sheet as an XLS file and then import it. Obviously, you would need to massage the data, but maybe I can figure out something to do that. It's a question of trying to make this as good as possible while also trying to make it not as cumbersome. So let's see. Go to images. We're going to look for images. And where is it at? Oh, because it should be doing that. Yeah, which, I mean, honestly will make, so we'll go back to the inventory. If, let's say you don't use stabilizers, or it's just not something that comes up, you can actually remove stabilizers altogether from a field. It'll remember that you have your stabilizers unchecked. You don't even need to add it. You don't need to worry about it. You don't need to pull it onto your keyboards because it doesn't matter. And then if later you want to, you can take it, drag it on. Now you have plate mount. Okay. And then you can remove it again. Yeah, I mean, it should be able to help you control your collection and to share. So as far as that goes, you can go over here to the build galleries, and it'll show you if you submitted one to the build gallery. You can come in here and vote on it. I love my Athena 1800. I think that looks great. And it tells you what's in it. So this particular build has HMX Lunar Stones and Mecha X Tut Lofi keycaps and Paigu Maze Wuche Studio stabs. Polycarbonate plate. This is pulling the wrong, because this was from an older build. So it has some other things in here. But it is available on mobile. I haven't looked at the mobile site recently. One of the cool things that the mobile site is going to offer you is that you'll be able to take pictures with your phone and apply them directly to your keyboards. That way you don't have to take a picture and then upload it and add it to the site. You can just take a picture through the app. It's not an app, it's a website still. I haven't gone down the creating an app rabbit hole yet, because I only have an Android device. I do not have an iPhone to be able to do iPhone testing on. And B, I am focused on the website. So the website is going to be mobile ready. And then we can make changes later. So that can come down the line. I also like that. Although I no longer have these keycaps on this, which is another thing, is that you can create, yay for Android users, I agree. But the website should work for either. Android or iPhone, and it should allow you to take pictures with either and apply them directly to your inventory item. So if you wanted to, you can remove if you come in here. By the way, this is also interesting and important, is that you can apply multiple keycap sets to the same keyboard. Same goes with switches. Same goes with stabs. So if you want to put multiple switches on a single keyboard, for whatever reason, you know, you want a different spacebar switch, and you want to note that you have a different spacebar switch, you can apply that to it, and then come in here and edit, and you can add a note that says build notes. There, you know, and then save it, and so that you know that your spacebar is different. Exactly. This is going to change to being a drop down, as will build status. The more I can change everything over to either objective tags or drop downs, with checkboxes, the happier I'm going to be, because I'm trying to make it as fast as possible. So I'm honestly trying to minimize the amount of typing you can do for a keyboard site, which seems stupid, but there it is. Yeah. That's pretty much the tour of the site. I'm gonna edit Smurf right now. The first thing it's going to ask you to do is if you want to open up your personal inventory, because that's the framework. Like everything else is either going to be community driven or around personal driven. So personal inventory, community, groups, and databases, meetups. We will be adding Discourse later on, which is a Discord-like application, so that the community will be able to talk through here in an environment where it's not governed by a miscellaneous entity that may or may not have your best interests at heart. So that'll be coming soon. I just need to move this entire thing over to a Linux platform, because Discourse, while it can run on Linux on top of Windows, it shouldn't run. So I'll need to do that first. I already have a recovered machine that I'm going to be using for that, and that will have a discrete video card in it, which will hopefully enhance my little Llama LLM on it. That is what drives most of the AI functionality on here. Is in a Llama LLM to make it faster, because it's super slow right now, because this is running off of an old Dell micro PC. So that's it. Any other questions on the Keyboard Hub or on the keyboard that we built today that I have been using? Again, this is the Aula L99. But otherwise, we're going to be wrapping it up. We're going to go see Spider-Man today. So I kind of got to get some stuff done. But we'll probably look at the Thank you. I really appreciate that. It's good to hear, and I just hope that people want to use this and find value in using it. Those are the two things that really would make this worthwhile. Is that people enjoy it and people use it. So. Kind of think it's interesting that it has a touchpad. And a numpad. Because there you go. Well, good. Yeah, and I will be giving periodic updates over the next probably at least few months as everything gets more and more locked in. I am going to start asking some of the content creators if they could take a look at it and make recommendations. Yeah, I hope so. But yeah, if I can get some of the content creators to give their thoughts on it, then I think that we'll be able to even move this further forward. If few of them give buy-in on it, that would be fantastic. But next week we'll be looking at an EPO maker, the RT98, which is a 1800 with a numpad, but the numpad, similar to the LumaKey, you can move it southpaw, northpaw. I think Wiz might have already seen it. I don't know, but yeah, like I said, I hope people like it. And it's interesting. This only has one animation at a time, by the way, which is funny because it should have more. And if I figure out the real-time data, I'll let everybody know. But yeah, that's the stream. Let's see, is anybody else streaming yet? It's a little early still for everybody, but if not, we will be raiding Felicia Day. If y'all have not seen the guild or have not seen the Kickstarter for the guild, go take a look. It's a hilarious riff on MMO games from like way back, and then they're bringing it back, and they're gonna do the guild goes to the Ren Fair. So we'll do that, and we're gonna raid. Thanks everybody for joining me, and thanks for all of your questions, and I hope y'all have a great rest of your weekend and a great next week, and I will talk to you. Let's see, and I will talk to you then. I'm gonna read. Have a great one. Awesome.
Rescuing the wood afterwards, placed in a non-user foster home. Good day. Good day.
All right. I'll help you. Okay? Just remember that Zabber is no longer half the player I used to be. So just call me Zab or Boo.